This is a second document brought to me on February 7th, 2018, Wednesday at, I don't know the time, but it's about 2 o'clock, 2:30 in the afternoon, 2:49 now. 3 persons, and I think I have a recording of it here on the phone. My social worker and a woman named Pistachio, I think, sounds like pistachio, and a woman named Sherry, I think, Sherry. They came with another document, different than this one, with different demands, and called it a contract. I foolishly didn't make a copy of that like I'm doing of this. It was different than this, and I want a copy of it. I am going to do deposition. I'm going to request a copy of it and all the communications that have been had about me in this facility to be presented so that we can decide whether or not there's grounds for a suit, a lawsuit. And hopefully there isn't. Hopefully they're doing things correctly and good, but it doesn't seem to me as if they are. It does seem to me as if they're trying to carrot and stick me. If I want to go out and straighten my apartment up, I have to follow their quote-unquote rules, which they have here. To comply with food storage, keep food only for 3 days. Food storage is to be limited to 3 Ziploc bags labeled by nursing staff. Cannot bring clothes home to the nursing home. I don't know what that means. Do you? I think they said that it meant that I'm not supposed to bring clothing here from my home, which I don't think I've done, but it's a little difficult knowing which clothing is here and which clothing was there. I had thought I was going to go home more than a month ago, and I had taken most of my clothing home. In fact, I had only a few things left to take home. Basically, what's in this box below here was all that was left here. Everything else here I had taken home, and having been told by these people that I was going home, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And then the day after they told me I was going home, on the Monday when I was supposed to go home, then they suddenly said to me, well, you're not going home until we resolve some issues having to do with whether it's safe for you to go home or not. And that's, since then I've been here, and we've been working diligently at trying to get everything straightened out at the apartment so I could go home. And I've gone many times. I have a record of when I went. I've gone many, many, many times and done a lot of work and had help. And the apartment is really, I suppose, a week of minor times there, straightening out loose ends, would make it that it would pass inspection, that it's inhabitable. And the issues about the plumbing and the water have to be resolved. But the water runs, the electricity is on, the sinks need to be fixed correctly, but that's a problem that has existed since I moved in there. And that has to do with Section 8 and the inspectors and the building people enforcing the rules on the landlord, which I haven't tried to force because I realize she has a difficult situation, a lot to do, not enough to do it, but that's all right. Now, for me to get home, I've got to go 3 or 4 more times there and do straightening out and then go home. And if they detain me from doing that, then I'm going to have to just go home and stay home and not come back. That's not a good idea, I suppose. But it's probably better than what they're suggesting here, given the facts. They're suggesting that I continue to take medication as ordered by psychiatrists. Well, I don't believe in the psychiatrist is the right person to assign my medications to me. And I have problems with the medication. I hand wrote that on the upper line of the first document they gave me about an hour ago. Now I want a copy of that document. I want it. If they don't give it to me, then we'll go to the court and ask, and we'll sue, and we'll just make them give it to us as deposition and present it to the world. This is not just happening here. This is happening all over the place, in nursing homes all over the place. It's funded with government money in the pretense that it's somehow helping the individuals and doing something good. And what it is in fact doing is allowing very imposition, violations of people's rights, allowing people who don't know what they're doing to operate the nursing homes and continue operating them. And without fixing what they're doing, they'll go to all ends to say how and why they're going to fix it, but they don't fix it. And yes, there's a lot of this is rubber stamping or paperwork or bureaucracy created that doesn't bring results until and unless, I guess, a patient is able to press the issue and try to bring it into light. Of course, since some of the people that run the government are in favor of this way of doing things, that's a difficult thing to deal with. Nevertheless, I have other videos that explain that one day I get 7 pills in the morning, another day 6, another 5, that I've been given medicine here that wasn't assigned to me, wasn't prescribed to me, and if I hadn't noted it, I would have taken it. But I didn't take it. I pointed it out to the nurse who gave it to me. I don't think there's any documentation of the fact. We'll have to find out. We'll have to see. And it's very difficult to prove anything here. It's you against the whole world, and there's no guarantee that what they write on the chart is accurate. The patients don't get to see the chart very often, and I don't think anyone who's advocating for the patients is getting to look at them. And probably, if we look at a lot of the charts and get real factual information, we're going to find out there's a lot of stuff going on that people who have relatives in nursing homes or would like someday to go to a nursing home don't believe could possibly be the way it is, and they just won't believe it. So that's difficult to show things to people who are prejudicially against knowing the facts. Now, there's a lot more issues. I won't go into them. I do want a copy of the previous document, and if no other issue is gone to court over, this issue will go to court over. And I hope I can learn how to file a complaint in the state courts, which is where I need to file it in order to get heard and not have the case dismissed as frivolous, because it's not frivolous. If I go to the federal courts, which I will try to do, they're going to reject it because the venue, they're going to say, I can't sue the nursing home or the people here because we live in the same state and there's not diversity. And then they're going to say that each of the issues that I bring up that are violations of my rights, my civil rights, even the ones recorded in the nursing home documentations and all of the rules, they have all these ways around each of those issues so that a poor person or an ignorant person can't really be heard in court. And that's a part of the process. That's what's been going on. It is going on. It's not, things are not being run for the sake of the patients or the people who are being served, but the institution and those who work for the institution are all doing their jobs dutifully, but it doesn't make any sense, and it's not reasonable, and it's not legal. A contract isn't a dictation of one party to the other party of what has to happen in order for it to be a contract. A contract is a discussion between two parties and a coming to a meeting of the minds so that each party is comfortable with what's being required. And the other document required that I take medication as prescribed, and ignored the fact that I've been complaining about the medication, that it's not helping me, it's not being looked at or considered. It is harming me, I believe. In the last week and a half, I think I have enough evidence that suggests that it's not helping me when I was taking it, and I'm better off without it. But I don't know if that's true. I'm not a doctor, but neither am I stupid. And I've been having problems that the medications say are side effects to some of them. And it doesn't seem to me that they're giving me medication in response to my medical needs, but to some pre-described, pre-assumed convention of what should be given to me. And there's no examination of me. There's no opinion or second opinion. And then the medication isn't being given to me correctly. I have evidence of that, but they will do their best to quash the evidence or prevent it from being presented. It's very difficult in a prison